Hey, good morning, everybody. It's a wonderful Saturday. Good morning. A great day, a great morning to be watching Saturday morning cartoons with us, our version of Saturday morning cartoons. My name is Mark B. Lee. I am one of the co-hosts for Saturday morning cartoons, and along with my lovely co-host, Rose Marie Rose and Jerome Connor, we have a fantabulous show for you this morning. I know it's early. If you don't have your cereal, at least have some coffee or some tea. Personally, I don't think you're going to need it once you meet our guest. Rose, how you doing, darling?
Hey, I'm doing great.
Good. Hey. Jerome, how you doing this morning?
A little soggy. I don't want you guys to keep sending me these hurricanes.
Well, two of us live here in Florida, ladies and gentlemen, and the so-called hurricane / tropical storm Elsa that was supposed to be devastating our whole state last week. It did not happen, and I knew it. Look here. If it ain't a Cat 3, it ain't a storm. Okay, and the fact that we are totally and constantly inundated, all right, with perpetual sunshine, hurricanes, bad weather, flying squirrels or manatees, we love it. We're like, bring us more, bring us more, bring us more. Good morning to our cartoon crew. Everybody popped up this morning. Garrett, I see you in there. Sage, Cheryl, the rest of you guys, good morning. This is going to be a show that I'm not sure will be survivable by most of us. The gentleman in question, as you have been watching the advertisement throughout the week or a couple of weeks or whatever, is totally psychotic. And I am convinced that some of you guys might be filing lawsuits against this network after you've spoken to this man. We right now I am disclaiming anything that this station, HWWS NBL Entertainment Group, is responsible for, because we are not. In fact, we don't have any money anyway. So have at it, whatever you want. I'm not responsible for this character that I'm bringing up on the screen right now. But if you just look at this face, you know that we're in trouble. You can tell that he's up to some shenanigans. Rose, your first time meeting this gentleman was basically last night.
Yes, that's right.
Audibly, of course, we had him on the phone, and we couldn't get him off the phone. But if you don't know the association of this space, then maybe you know this character here. If you don't know this character, shame on you, because now I'm about to tell you who this character is. This character, of course, is Courage, the Cowardly Dog. Okay, and it is a show that was broadcast on the Cartoon Network. Incredibly funny. I think it started back in '96. We'll ask him, and I think it ended around 2002. But without any further ado, let's go ahead and bring up this guy who I think is incredibly funny. He's just super cool. We got to know him, and we're impressed. Ladies and gentlemen, without any further ado, I'd like to present to you Marty Grabstein. Just like Young Frankenstein, it's Grabstein and not Grabstein, right, Marty?
It's fine, however you want to pronounce it, but generally it's Grabstein. Yeah,
it's Grabstein. Yeah, I pronounced it right. I'm happy about that.
I wasn't attempting to do comedy right out of the box, because you gave me such an incredible,
Did you like that? I tried to throw I tried to throw in as many insults as I possibly could, but unfortunately.
No, and just so you understand, I do appreciate that you saying that I'm totally psychotic. Because then when they see, that I'm just this guy,
Well, your children weren't around to question, so I just made an obvious a visual and
wouldn't question anyway.
And experienced assessment on your level of. Oh, by the way, someone loves your hat. Yes, that is a great hat. People are saying hello to you all over the place right now, Marty.
God bless you. I say I know the guy. I know this guy. I know this guy. Yeah.
Yeah. Let me tell you guys basically how this show's gonna work. Okay. First of all, we're gonna talk to Marty about his incredible vocalizations of Courage. Then we're going to move on to a list of cartoons that he supplied me with, and we're going to discuss those cartoons. Some of them are totally, I've never heard of him before in my life, which goes to show you how old Marty actually is. And the others, he blasphemed because some of the cartoons he on his crap list are, it's a testament against God. I'm telling you right now, Marty, for you to even put that on your list. So we're definitely going to challenge you on that. Welcome, Rose, Jerome.
Yes.
Say whatever you want to Marty. I don't care. He can't reach me from here. So
Hi, Rose and Jerome. Hi, good to see you guys.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah. Rose, have you heard of? And Rose is our go-to beauty when we are showing Saturday morning cartoons, guys. Our show is basically based on cartoons that you guys were. You were brought up on, and we try to stay from the year 2000 and below. I'm more of a 60s, 70s guy. Jerome, are you what? 80s, 90s, 2000s?
70s, 80s, and 90s, man. I just did it all.
Yeah. And Rose, do you remember anything prior to having your bottom changed when you were born?
Well, I know my 70s cartoons, okay? I know a little bit of 60s because of UHF and, other television sources. So, I'm fully aware. I mean, now when you get back, you bring up some stuff that I've never heard of, okay? That this is true. But I know I have a good deal of knowledge.
It's an educational show. Okay,
yes, it is.
and
yes,
there's going to be cartoons that people have never heard of before that we're going to present to you. And we have done shows in the past where, Jerome's did stuff on Disney. You've done anime stuff, and there are shows that I've never seen or heard of with the help of your lovely daughter, who is a big anime fan. It's like, but it's educational. It makes you want to seek out these shows and say, oh, well, that was pretty cool during Saturday morning cartoons. Let me kind of, go figure it out. Marty.
Yes.
So this, show you got hired for, Courage the
Yes, sir. God bless. Yes.
Right. It's an animated kind of horror, kind of stretches in the horror realm, the paranormal or the supernatural type adventures that you involve yourself with. But you live with an elderly couple in a farmhouse in the middle of nowhere. Can you explain this to the audience of what this premise truly is?
Well, really, the premise is it's really so simple, and in a sense, and of course, the great John Dilworth, his very unconventional mind created this whole idea of Courage the Cowardly Dog, and it's just the idea that nowhere is kind of like anywhere, but essentially. Like here it is, this lovely dog who was rescued, as a pup, was abandoned and was rescued by this kindly woman who, takes him in, and her begrudging husband, that's Muriel and that's Eustace. You can see the way he looks at me. He doesn't like me that much, actually, Eustace, but Muriel does. But basically the idea is that they have this very idyllic environment, and yet there's all this space around it where all these crazy things can happen. It's almost like whiteness, and then you come in and fill it up with all kinds of crazy things. Basically, anything you want, any ridiculous idea you can possibly want is coming in, and often did. Very strange, very frightening, and the idea to somehow make you love this character, love his master, even love Eustace, who kind of hates him because you kind of just dig him, because you need somebody like that, I guess, in every one of these sorts of things. And then their battles against the force. They're so vulnerable, actually, to all these frightening forces. So I love it. And just the idea of horror amidst this fun little cartoon for kids.
Well, you actually, there was a pilot that Dilworth, who was the creator of Courage the Cowardly Dog, John Dilworth, I'm sorry. He actually had a...
Dilworth. He's fine with just Dilworth.
It really, you guys just walk around
like Cher and Madonna. The one name thing he has no problem with. I'll speak for him on that respect.
So during the premiere of or the debut of Courage, which I think was in '96, I do believe that you guys came on the Cartoon Network.
99.
Yeah,
99.
Is it? Go ahead. What will you finish your sentence? As the fact checkers,
Right.
Thank you, Jerome. That was a fact check thing, right?
Yeah.
You did it right away. You keep each other on. But go ahead. When did actually Courage was actually a film, and I believe it was 1995.
Okay.
It was a short film, Courage the Cowardly Dog. It was actually called The Chicken from Outer Space.
Yes, and which was nominated for Academy Award, I do believe.
Yes, it was.
Yeah, and you
however, was not the voice of that character.
Okay.
Very little vocalizations of any sort. Not to forget about lines, or or not a whole lot of vocalizations.
Yeah.
And so I think Dilworth, in his brilliance, wanted to make the character, because he got basically the chance to do this incredible series and to just completely create this series. He basically was approached, and he wanted somebody more, a more lovable pooch, so to speak.
Right. Well, did you have any input in terms of the look of the dog at all, or did they just present it to you and say, "Hey, can you provide us with a voice that can coincide with this look?"
It's funny you should say that. Actually, it's kind of a interesting question. Of course, I mean, no. In other words, he basically had the look because I wasn't around the dog basically looked like that in Chicken from Outer Space. But he did make little adjustments on it. And I certainly had something to say in how the voice sounded. And that was, I think, which maybe segues me into a question that you might have asked if I'd given you the chance. But, I went forward on this. You're okay with that. If I do that, you're okay with that, aren't you?
I'm fine. I'm absolutely
totally psychotic. That's what Mark said. I'll be talking to you later about that. But anyway, So that being said, I basically, how I even got approached for this thing is kind of crazy. A really great friend of mine from, that I had lost touch with, contacted me. I hadn't spoken to her in about maybe 6 years, and I get a call from her out of nowhere, basically, literally, and that said, "Hey, Marty, I know we haven't spoken in a while, but I see that you're still in the business. You're still an actor," because I was actually doing a sketch comedy around New York and doing a whole lot, doing pretty successfully doing sketch comedy around New York and theaters and clubs and stuff like that with a partner. We were called Lab Rats, if anybody wants to look that up. And she said, "So I see you're still in the industry." I was making no money on that, by the way, just so you understand, because this figures into this story. So she called me up and she said, "I'm working on this new cartoon series called Courage the Cowardly Dog. John Dilworth is the creator of it, and he's driving me crazy," she said. Her name was Risa Neuwirth, by the way. What a wonderful lady she is. God bless you, Risa, if you're listening. And she said, he's listened to every voice artist in the city and even many on the coast. So he hundreds of voices over the last few months, and can't seem to decide about, what he wants and how he wants it done. So I figured maybe you, I may as well call you. You have an interesting voice. So I went in, and within like 2 minutes, we were connecting, John and I, and there was a lot of excitement over my way I was, he's watching me. You have to say he's watching me as he's listening, right? So he's not closing his eyes and hearing how it might sound. He's looking at me as well. You wouldn't think that matters, how I look. You wouldn't think that matters at all to somebody who wants a voice, right? But he thinks unconventionally as well. So he was doing that. He was so excited. He goes, "But you know what? Do me a favor, because you hear how my voice is. it's scratchy, it's husky, it's raspy, right? That's the natural timbre tone of my voice. So he said, "Can you pitch it high? Like can you do it like that? Like up like this? Can you do that?" And that's when he goes, "Yes, yes." He started clapping and laughter was happening in the room and everyone was laughing. And he goes, "I think we got it, right?" But and so sure enough, he ran it by Cartoon Network and the rest is history. So, but here's the thing. Two things I want to say about that. Number one, when he did Courage, in the choosing of me, and I think he made little tiny adjustments on the eyebrows. He said, part of the reason I chose you for Courage was because your eyebrows, that you see, it just seemed right somehow that your eyebrows reminded me of Courage's eyebrows. And so I think he may have made little nips and tucks on that. Isn't that crazy? The other thing is, it's kind of a nice message for me. The fact that I was willing to stay in the business and making no money at all, but staying active was ultimately what made that call from my friend happen. So I guess that's a lesson to anybody, especially you older folks who maybe have, who are listening to this podcast, not the webcast, sorry, at 9 o'clock in the morning. Webcast. Yeah. Those
all right.
To this, yes.
We got a heavy show, but before we do, I want to give my co-host a chance to probably ask you a question if you guys have any. After that, guys, we're going to go right into the cartoons that Marty personally chose and personally hates, and then we have a special surprise midway or towards the end of the show that we'd like to share for everyone. So you're going to want to hang around because we got some interesting stuff. This is some debut premiere stuff we have to tell you this morning here on Saturday Morning Cartoons. So ladies, go first. Rose, do you have anything you want to ask Marty?
I really don't have a question. I just want to tell Marty that my father, who was a big cartoon connoisseur, just loved Courage the Cowardly Dog. He was a huge fan. And then later on, my daughter became a huge fan of Courage the Cowardly Dog. And in fact, she was really scared of like horror, but she said that Courage Cowardly Dog made her like a horror fan. So you were like her gateway into the horror realm. So that, it's the show is very unique. And I think there's not been anything like it on TV before or since. So, thank you for bringing that character to life. It was a really great show.
Thank you.
Awesome.
So go to Dad, and what's your daughter's name?
Rachel.
Rachel. God bless you. Rachel, listening?
Where is Rachel right now, Rose?
Rachel is very tired. She was up writing all night, so she's a
young adult in bed. Yeah, young adult student. Yeah. How about you, Jerome?
Anyway, she'll see that. Right.
She'll see the show.
She will, definitely. Hey, Jerome, you got anything you want to share?
Well, last night when we were talking to Marty, Marty threw down the gauntlet for me to do research. And quite frankly, I feel I have to take up the challenge, So I have this question. Are you still driving a trolley, Marty?
What? What?
Hey, look, I got him.
Wait.
No.
Okay, hold on. In England, in Europe, basically England, a trolley is a truck. Here in America, a trolley could be, I hate to, go ahead and tell us, Marty. What's he talking about?
I'd like to say, well, first of all, just so you understand something, I actually don't drive at all. So I can't drive a car, and I certainly couldn't drive a trolley. So that's number one. Number two, if I could drive a trolley, I never did.
So is this an urban myth?
That needs to be replaced. What is it on? What did you see that on? A couple
of interviews you did.
What's that?
A couple of interviews that you did.
No interview did I ever say I drove a trolley.
Really?
No.
Okay. Well, there you go.
If you look it up, you'll see it's listed. And you know what? My laziness did not allow me to fix that. But it's good to have this conversation, isn't it?
Yeah. We love it. We like straightening out fake news. This is what we do.
Yes, that is fake.
We spew out the truth.
It also says Wunderchosen is one of the things on my credits. Wunderchosen is by another Marty Grabstein in Germany, who I believe, interestingly enough, is in the tombstone business. And what is particularly important about that is that my name, Grabstein, actually means gravestone in German.
Wow. Okay. Well, we know.
What can you say?
So I won't ask you if you know where Hoffa's buried. So we're good there.
Hey, we have a viewer. I'm gonna put this up on the screen. We have a viewer who just mentioned something, and it's a little bit of a salute to you, Marty. And James says, "I love Courage the Cowardly Dog. Besides the Wild Thornberries, Courage the Cowardly Dog is one of the few cartoons my dad loves to watch, and we love watching it together. I would love to get his autograph someday for me and my dad." Hey, James, you're talking to him, man. Why don't you got a question for him too? Hi, Gwen. This is the daughter, Marty, of Jerome there.
Hi, Gwen. How are you?
Gwen, yeah.
Gwen?
Yes, you got it.
How are you, Gwen? Good to see you.
Hi, Marty.
Has anybody told you how adorable you are, or is that too much?
Answer the question.
Do you have a question?
Wait, it's okay. You know what? You are adorable.
She's stymied by your beauty, Marty. You know,
Daddy is adorable as you. Answer that one. Yes or no? Is Daddy as adorable as you?
Hey, Jerome, repeat Marty's question to Gwen.
Wait, Gwen, come here. What was the question again?
Go ahead, Marty.
I'll ask it for her.
Is Daddy as adorable as you are?
Is Daddy as adorable as you are? She says yes.
Wow.
Right.
You know,
that was a trick question, Gwen. You passed it with flying colors.
I think the kid is under, some strict.
Oh no, she was bribed.
Yeah,
that's okay. That up.
She was bribed. That's it.
He gave her a bowl of Cookie Crisp.
No. I said she could have the iPad this morning if she, answered them properly. So off she goes.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we got a heavy morning right now. We're going to start off with this. Marty sent me a list of cartoons, like I mentioned already, that he claims he likes and that he claims he hates. Once we get to the hate section of this, a lot of you might end up tuning out, but believe me, we know that he doesn't really mean the hate word to some of these cartoons, because some of these are our favorites. But we're going to go ahead and show this one clip of Marty's choice, and then we're going to come back and we're going to discuss it real briefly before we go on to the next one. So, Marty, this is everyone's favorite, not specifically the clip, but the character in the clip. So this was a good choice on your part. Here we go.
Let's all square dance. Places all. Bow to your corner. Bow to your own. 3 hands up and round you go. Break it up with a do-si-do. Chicken in the bread pan, kicking out dough. Step to Maloo, my darling. The old lady out, you pretty little thing. Promenade around the ring. Big foot up and little foot down. Make that big foot jaw the ground. The lady step back and 2 gents in. Back you go and forward again. Step right up with an elbow swing. Step to Maloo, my darling. Alaman left.
Here comes my favorite part.
Go through with the right and left grand. Meet your honey with a great big smile. Promenade in
No bugs.
Promenade across the floor, sashing right on up the door, out the door and into the glade, and everybody promenade. Right up, you're doing fine. I'll pull your bed, you pull mine. You get again, look at it before. Get up with a tug of war. Now into the brook and fish for the trout. Dive right in and splash your bow. Trout, pretty little trout. One more splash and come right out.
But it's Saturday, so they get to take a bath.
All right, this program does not promote violence on our show.
Well, that was so great. I haven't seen that in forever.
It is one of my favorite ones because Mel Blanc, and I want to ask your opinion on Mel, Marty, was just such a king of voices and variations, and singing alone is like, the guy is brilliant. Give me your thoughts on that, Marty, if you don't mind.
I mean, I don't know everything that's been said about Mel Blanc. I mean, I'll only echo them because nothing I could say can possibly, really say any more than this man was not only amazing for his ability to voice something and create not only a very specific decision on the sound of a character, but the comedy of a character, the basic simple comedy nugget of a particular character, and do all of them.
I agree.
Listen, it's great. It's a budget person's dream. It's a producer's dream. Pay one guy to do all these things. He was amazing, just amazing, and he understood. I maintain, because they always talk about the Looney Tunes stuff, and one of the reasons I loved it is because as a kid, I think I was reasonably, as you say, that partially psychotic thing that you mentioned earlier. I was kind of a little bit more, I guess, enlightened, I believe, than many of my other compatriots growing up. And so that I loved this stuff. I liked it because there were wink, a lot of that stuff for adults, references for adults. It wasn't just, it was for kids, mostly kids watching it, right? Yes. But it had these little adult wink things. And I maintain that his voice was as responsible as anything in the writing itself to create some of those wink adult sensibilities underneath.
Well, 81 years and only one gray hair.
Oh, I get it. Okay.
I don't know what that meant exactly. I think I know what that meant.
I got it. So Marty, let me ask you real quick. Is there anything you may have learned by watching Mel's work? Is there anything you may have picked up and inserted into your own style of voice work?
It's interesting. I'm pretty much a beginner in the voice world, believe it or not. Most of my general work that I've done in television, film, lots of live theater and stuff like that has been, the whole package. And voiceover is unusual for me. But what I take from him is actually something that even goes beyond voice work, which is to sometimes right out of the box, I tend to kind of make a quick decision. Just make a quick decision on okay, like the character. Okay, he kind of goes like this. And just go with that. Because you could always nip and tuck it. You could always arrange it. But just make a very simple, very clear, simple decision and then build on that. So I guess one could say that he inspired me in that respect.
Cool. Mark is currently doing something with his
contractor just walked
over there.
Yeah.
Okay. Your next clip that I got coming up here, and I gotta look at your list again because I'm sure you had this on your list, but we had talked to it early before the show started, and I know why I put this on, because of the main character. But the main character interacted with this this other character, same species that you're used to seeing. So take a look at this, guys.
Okay.
Come and get it, Snuffle! Here you are. Catch.
Right. So Quick Draw McGraw is obviously a character that you put on your list here, but I just pulled this clip because of Snuffles the dog, because
Right.
So what is it about Quick Draw McGraw that you like?
No, it's so funny when you had me make that list. I can't actually say why I like Quick Draw McGraw. In general, and I may get some letters. The Hanna-Barbera stuff was not always my cup of tea, because I found it to be just a little bit more kid-like. And I guess that's why I kind of preferred the Looney Tunes stuff, because it was a little more of a bite to it. So, not that it wasn't good, but I did enjoy Quick Draw McGraw somehow, because there was a kind of silliness about the idea that he was this really nice guy who kind of did this, spoke like that. And he was actually had guns in his hands. He was a gun guy. Quick Draw. It was kind of silly, actually. So I just got a kick out of him in that respect. But it's so funny you said this to me in the pre-show that I didn't even remember their dog. I just remembered Quick Draw McGraw and Augie Doggy, and wasn't there Doggy Daddy too?
Yes,
absolutely.
Augie Doggy and Doggy Daddy.
Yes.
A lot of dogs in this.
Well, hey, I want to put this. I want to put this post up real quick that James Davies has just given you a really, really huge compliment. And I want to go ahead and put this up here since he's hanging in here pretty deep with a lot of questions, which is fine. He says, don't really have a question. Just wanted to tell him that because of Courage, me and my dad bonded even more. And for that, I'll always have a place for Courage in my heart. Holy crap, man. The dude's going to make me cry.
That's this kind of stuff, Mark, and it's just when I see this. Listen, it was a job. It would paid me some good money, and it's kind of just was so wonderful, and I had a great deal of fun. But I swear, when I see people at comic book conventions, and I do a lot of conventions and such, The Enlightenment of Marty Grafstein sounds like a book title. Sage, God bless you. Anyway, as I begin to chatter on. But it really touches my heart so much when I see, the effect that this show and my character has had on people, and it really touches me a lot. And I just feel really good about that. People hug me and, they're cry. They're just, there's just such a, when I see something like that, James, this is a wonderful thing, bonding with your dad. And, that means a lot to me. And it's just great. It makes me feel good that I've done something, in participating in this, I've done something that has really kind of touched people's hearts. And it means a lot to me. So.
Good job. Okay, moving on. We just showed you guys Snuffles, which was Quick Draw McGraw's dog. You mentioned something about Augie Daddy and Daddy Doggy, and Augie Daddy. Oh, forget it. No way.
Augie Daddy.
I gave up. I quit. Okay.
Augie Daddy, exit stage right.
Stage right. Yeah. But your next cartoon is actually on my list of top cartoons when I was growing up that I watched. Particularly because of the music, along with Jetsons and Flintstones and Top Cat, you had Hoyt Curtin, the great Hoyt Curtin, who put together a lot of soundtracks for cartoons. And it's the intro to a show that literally gives you the premise of what the show is going to be about. And they do it to some really, really hip music. And I just so love this show, mainly because I'm bebopping in my house listening to music when I was a kid. Let's see if you guys remember this. This is one of Marty Grafstein's favorites. And here we go.
Top Cat, the most effectual Top Cat, whose intellectual close friends get to call him TC, providing it's with dignity. Top Cat, the indisputable leader of the gang. He's the boss, he's a bit, he's a championship, he's the most tip-top, Top Cat.
Loved them.
Great show.
All right, tell us a little bit about what you know about Top Cat there, buddy.
Oh man, I just talk about the comedy of it. I just, you know, there was this little group of guys, you know, that each had their own special characteristics, you know, group of cats. There was a kind of a ballsiness to Top Cat, a real kind of, I don't, you know, I'm just gonna, like the way he strode into that restaurant, just sat down and ate, and confidently, like there was a fearlessness about him, and a little bit of a I'm gonna smack him in the eye kind of attitude, kind of thing. You know, he was kind of a badass a little bit. I loved that about him.
Yeah, he had no respect for the police. He had no respect for the law. I mean,
if all your police were like Officer Dibble, you wouldn't have respect for them either. I'm saying, thank God the police we have in real life are more respectful.
It's amazing how you remembered the name of the officer.
Dibble. That's right. There
wow.
He is. And let's see if I remember all these names. I don't remember everyone's name. Got Benny the Ball. You got Fancy. You got Top Cat, and then Fancy is the guy with the scarf, right? And I forget the other names of the characters.
Okay.
But I love, like, look at this collection here. You know, it's just there. Each one of them had a really very specific voice, and just it was just great fun. You know, I don't know anything about the history of the show. I've never researched it or anything. I just loved it.
So you had Benny the Ball, Choo Choo, Brain, Fancy, Spook, and then there was Officer Dibble.
Right. That's right. What did you say? Choo Choo, the Brain. The Brain is the guy in the purple shirt.
Yeah, with the lab coat on, I think.
Hang on a minute, I'll let you know in a second.
Yeah. Well, anyway, while he's doing that,
the cat with the purple T-shirt is the Brain.
I thought.
Okay.
So. Yeah. Okay.
All right. So anyway, the personalities that you bring to your character, Courage, I mean, it says a lot. I mean, even with Top Cat, you had all of these characters in this, and each one had to have an individual personality. Right. How did you think of a personality for? I mean, they give you a script and they tell you to voice it. How did you figure out the personality? Was the personality described to you by the director or the creators? How did all of that work?
It wasn't, like an exact science. It was pretty much that he, we knew that he was terrified of everything, right? Of everything, and very high, high tension, and, what do they call that? A type A personality? Is that part of it?
Type A, yeah, sure.
There was that, and yet somehow underneath there was a kind of wisdom, an ability to kind of scope. A lot of, I think, the moments that for me are really cool and courage, ironically, are the moments when I'm not speaking or not saying anything, but looking, like scoping out a situation. So it's like we know we've gone to the trouble of setting up that this guy's terrified of everything, and yet somehow when something, at the 11th hour, he scopes out a situation and he's able to kind of make a decision. I'm not even gonna, he doesn't think that deeply. It's like, you gotta save the people you care about. You just gotta stand up against these forces of evil. You just gotta do it. You can't just sit around and just allow the forces of evil to plow over you. So,
right.
And so somehow, I think, whether I did it consciously or not, there would be maybe little mini pauses within what I was doing that would actually contribute to that idea that underneath the surface was wiser than he seemed, which is my real life, the truth as well. That's neither here nor there.
Sage is wondering if I had a sleepover.
Oh goodness!
She's talking about the guy who walked down your stairs.
Mike, I'm having just so all you guys know, even though it's none of your business. I'm having my bathroom renovated, and this is my contractor, Raphael. Raphael, come in the camera real quick and say hello to the world. because they saw you walking up and down the steps.
Hello. Hey, Raphael, how you doing, man?
What kind? Tape measure.
All right. So I,
excuse me, guys. Go ahead, guys.
Yeah. So with Top Cat, I mean, it's like it was a takeoff on the Bowery Boys.
Oh, that's right. I did.
And since you're from Brooklyn, aren't you?
Yeah, I am actually.
So you should that's why I figured you like Top Cat. It's very much like it's a bunch of Brooklyn boys.
So it's funny when you ask me that question. I don't even realize why. Like that probably added something to it.
Yeah.
It did affect me.
And you got to admit, it does have one of the coolest opening themes of cartoons.
Yeah.
I still know it to this very day. I remember it, every word.
Now,
what's that?
I was gonna say, what's funny was that song was featured on a Moonlighting episode. I don't know if you were aware of that.
No.
What song? What song?
The opening to Top Cat.
That one.
Yep. Bruce Willis singing it in a bar with his buddies.
Did he really?
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
cool.
I retain weird, stupid stuff like this.
Which I like better than Sweet Caroline and Top Gun.
Yeah.
Okay, got a question for you here from Dr. Who here. He says, how many takes or tries until you get the right voice the director is looking for? Great question.
Sometimes I get it right away, which is great when that happens. Usually a few, 4, 5, 3, 4, something like that. But every once in a while, something gets stuck and it goes on and on and on forever. I think there was one ridiculous moment where I had to, it was one of those, again, because Courage is not a line-driven character and became less line-driven after the first season. Yeah. But I would, something like a simple thing like that, or like that sometimes is, wait a second. They would ask me to do this one time. It was like something, my head is popping up in some weird forest out of the ground. And I'm supposed to it's supposed to be like, he's scared, but also confused. So, No, I need more confusion. No. No, now you don't sound like Courage anymore. No. That went on for over 20 takes. I remember that.
Oh my God.
Wow.
20 takes of it made me want to scream. God bless him.
Whoever the director was at the time. Yeah.
Sorry, Colin, please help me with the name.
No, well, we understand.
Fernandez, thank you.
We understand why. We understand why you wanted to forget him. So
No, he was great. He was a wonderful, great director, and he really did so much. He helped me so much. But just that one made me crazy. Every once in a while, it just would happen like that. But he was wonderful.
All right, we're going to go to another one on Marty's like list. And if there's anybody watching this broadcast right now who did not like this show, I suggest you turn us off immediately, okay? Because you're just not human. So this is another one on Marty's like list, and we all love it. We've done shows on it before, and it is a good choice. This is Marty's number 5 choice.
Rocky and Bullwinkle and Friends.
Little boy blue, come blow your horn. The sheep's in the meadow, the cow's in the corn. Psst.
Boy, that's hard work.
Oh, where is the boy who looks after the sheep?
Don't ask me. I'm a musician myself.
He's under a haystack fast asleep is where, doggone it.
Why'd you call this poem The Horn anyway?
'Cause obviously that's what the little boy blew.
Look at that silly Nelson.
He is like the sitting duck, yes, my captain?
Yes, like the sitting duck who is at the end of his rope. Tell you what we do. We sent him a message.
All right, I'll go ahead and drop that now because I want to ask Marty, what was the appeal to you about Bullwinkle and Rocky?
Oh, so many things appeal to me. When I look at that, sometimes I wonder, is that even my favorite? It's or just as much as Bugs Bunny. First of all, it was it was just Bullwinkle was just the supreme doofus. just the funniest doofus in the way he spoke. He actually, basically pronounced his words very clearly, which made it even more doofusy somehow. We made sure to understand his supreme doofusness, but they're just in general, just funny. Look at those characters, or those pirates, or whatever the hell they were.
Yeah, you got it.
It
Yeah,
was very funny, but really, especially in light of the fact, Jay Ward's brilliance, is the idea of what was going on with the Cold War and the fear of the fact that you had Boris Badenov and Natasha, these Russian spies.
Oh, they weren't from Russia. They were from
Pennsylvania.
Pennsylvania.
Yeah,
right. They were right. They didn't say Russia, right?
I love Rocky and Bullwinkle because there were just some adult jokes in there that overwent the heads of us kids when we were watching it. And then when you become an adult and you watch it, whole new level. Especially if you know the history of that time frame.
Yeah, it was the Cold War was big, right?
Well, not only that, but they made some comments about civil rights. Okay, yeah, there was one scene where they had this fine Kentucky colonel, looked an awful lot like a certain chicken guy, complained that they didn't like the title of Civil War because they just had a problem with that word civil. So hence it was going to be called the war between the states. And if you knew what they were talking about, you just got both jokes on that one right there,
I think I need to watch some of these again.
Yeah, they were. Rocky and Bullwinkle was highly political, and a lot of it did go over the heads of young kids. And of course, as I got older, I realized, whoa, they did not just say that, did they?
Yes, they did, and that's the beauty of it.
But it was a great series. Look, guys, we're halfway through, and what I need to do is go ahead and pay some bills here. So if you hold on quickly, we'll be right back with you guys in a sec. So hang on. We'll come.
I'm GW Pomacher.
I'm Dina Marie.
I'm Sage Ia.
I'm Thomas Carter Rochester.
Hey, I'm David Thompson.
Hi, I'm Kevin.
And I'm Mia.
Hi, I'm Mark.
Hey there, this is Dave Adams.
Hi, I'm Rosemary Rose.
Jerome Conner here.
Hey guys, it's Josh Bauer.
It's Willow Schuyler.
I'm Cosplay Michael.
It's your boy Country.
I'm Ryan Permison.
And I'd like to ask you guys, please subscribe.
Please subscribe.
Please subscribe.
Please subscribe.
Please subscribe.
Please subscribe.
Please
subscribe.
Subscribe.
Please subscribe to HWWS
Web TV.
Great bunch of people.
And don't forget to smash the bell.
Ring that bell.
Smash that bell.
Hit that bell.
Hit the bell to be notified.
Hit the bell to get notified of new shows
and videos.
You're going to want to do that, so do that soon. So we can cross that 20,000 mark.
And get us to 100,000 subscribers.
To 1 million, and 10 million, and 100 million.
On HWWS.
Web TV.
You'll really like it. I guarantee it.
Thank you.
Whoops. All right, we're getting down to Marty's negative list. Okay, to Marty's negative list.
Oh yeah, this is what I've been waiting for.
The first one.
Before you say that, Mark, I just want to make it clear. My negative list did not mean I didn't keep watching them, by the way. This is the equivalent of all you people out there that continue to watch the Kardashians. I hate them.
So these were your.
But if the Kardashians are watching, you understand that I do indeed love you. Anyway.
So Marty, so what you're saying is these were your rage, hate, failed watching because you just couldn't look away. It was like a car wreck, like watching the Kardashians.
Yeah, he was a glutton for punishment.
It felt like that a little bit. Or what else was I doing? Like what else?
Well, it's probably only one on your list, and we're gonna one on your list that I disagree with. But the first one I'm about to show you, I've never heard of. I've never seen in my entire life. I have no idea where this came from. Somebody explain this to me, but obviously it's on Marty's, like I said, his negative list or whatever, his glutton for punishment list. Let's call it that. And you guys tell me if you ever seen it, heard of it. What the hell's going on here?
And now stand by for adventure.
3, 2, 1.
In the exciting story of Colonel Bleep's arrival on Earth. Colonel Bleep, interplanetary intelligence agent for the planet Futura, had completed another dangerous mission. An arch criminal, Dr. Destructo, had at last been captured and was at this very moment a prisoner in a space bubble, securely anchored in the outer ring of the planet Saturn. And now the Futuran High Command had ordered Colonel Bleep on a new assignment, a top secret mission to investigate reports of disturbances on worlds of outer space, the distant planet Earth in particular, to observe its places, people, and customs. It was therefore only a few days later that the giant telescope at Mount Palomar Observatory first gave news to people of Earth of Colonel Bleep's approach. Powerful lenses focused on this curious visitor from the outer world as he flashed past the planets Uranus and Neptune and then rapidly spanned the empty...
Okay, I'm experiencing nausea right now.
But you didn't. You got. I mean, can you just show? You got to show the little tidbit of his two assistants.
Planet
Earth. Scratching.
Actually, the people of Futura had only recently become interested in Earth. To Futurans, the Earth was only a small planet revolving around the minor sun of the Milky Way galaxy, and hardly worth investigation under ordinary circumstances. However...
Okay, I'll pay you not to let me go through them. Anything you want. Anything, I'll give you.
Also had two assistants. One of them was a puppet.
1945. Concern of the Futura, as you all know,
There
a
we
puppet
go.
cannot talk for himself.
Oh, dear.
He is filled with curiosity, as all boys are. And you all know the troubles curiosity can often bring about. Second, there is Scratch, an expert on the past, who, like other cavemen, should really have become extinct several thousand years ago. But Scratch fell asleep and slept right through the evolution of man, and didn't wake up until that first atomic explosion.
I knew.
Blew him right out of the past and into the present. Scratch, like most cavemen, is...
All right, that's funny.
Oh, good. So he goes around with a puppet and a caveman.
Oh,
very strange.
Oh,
There they
God,
are.
that is-
What a team! All right.
Oh, so it's all right. So it's part of
Mike
Uncle
remembers
Bill's.
watching it?
I watched it regularly. And
Yeah.
at the same time. I don't know why I kept watching it.
Well, it was mainly ran in New York, from what I'm reading here, real quick.
Yeah, I think so. It was one of those Metro Media.
Yeah. Uncle Bill's cartoon show is what it was. Yeah, it was produced in
You're
Buffalo,
muted, Mark.
according to what I'm reading. Mark, you're muted.
I guess they kept things like this out of the intelligence states. So I'm pretty sure there would have been mass hysteria if this was in my town, because we would have just went around beating people over the head like the caveman.
Oh my God, that is true. I gotta find that now, just because it just seems so silly.
Okay, but we understand this is on his what did I say? Glutton for Punishment list.
Yes.
You did watch it. You did remember it.
Should we send this to the Kardashians?
Yes.
No, 'cause they might.
Chloe.
I don't think they understand it.
Have that.
Yeah, they might try to make fashion out of what's on the screen. So, all right. So this next Glutton for Punishment list, everyone knew, everyone watched, and after we show it to you, I want Marty to explain to us what was his problem with it. So stand by, guys, and let me get this up on the screen for you guys. And we all know this clip, so here we go.
Felix the cat, the wonderful, wonderful cat. Whenever he gets in a fix, he reaches into his bag of tricks. Felix the cat, the wonderful, wonderful cat. You laugh so much your sides will ache, your heart will go pit-a-pat. Watching Felix, the wonderful cat.
The whole thing.
Okay.
Okay, this show creeped me out as a kid. This show creeped me out as a kid. Okay, I'll tell you. So I'm really interested to see why Marty didn't like it.
Marty?
I'm sorry, those of you who love Felix the cat. I just found it to be just. I didn't understand the appeal of Felix himself. Felix didn't do anything for me. I mean, he was a little too like almost sweet, too like lovable. You know, I don't want too lovable. You know what I mean? I like a little bit like that's why my love of the Looney Tunes stuff, you know.
Yeah.
And Top Cat, right? Same kind of thing.
Yeah.
Kind of a little bit of, you know, because I don't know, and my feeling was that a little too precious for me. I was not into precious.
Like saccharine, you know.
Saccharine sweet. Yes, thank you. That's true. That is true. Absolutely. And
he had a catchy opening title scene. Music.
Look, I memorized the song, right?
Yeah, it's one of those theme songs that kind of stick in your brain, and you put a clothes hanger through your ears to kind of get it out. And Felix the cat. Well, guys, I hope you're enjoying the show. We're rounding down close to the end here. I have one more. In fact, this is a tragedy. The next clip I'm about to show you, I'm trying to figure out if this was an earlier rendition of the Russian invasion of our psyche, because no freaking God-fearing American could have produced something like this, and yet they did. The problem that I really have about this clip that I'm going to show you, in fact, the entire show, was that nothing else moved on their body but one thing. Okay, and you guys,
I know what you're talking about now.
You can throw things at your own screen. You'll only be damaging your own property. So just be careful how much of a primal scream you release after seeing this piece of crap. I mean, this wonderful broadcast.
I'll get it, Spinner. Oh, why, it's my old friend Snowshoe Slednik. Ooga-looga, Clutch. Ooga-looga to you, Snowshoe. Come on in. Spinner, I want you to meet Snowshoe Slednik and his dog Snowball. You've heard me speak of them.
Yeah, I always wanted to meet you, Mr. Snowshoe. Do you really have days and nights that are 6 months long, Mr. Snowshoe?
Ooga-looga.
What does ooga-looga mean, Mr. Snowshoe?
Later, Spinner. What's all the excitement, Snowshoe?
Okay, if that German Shepherd's lips moved, I'm gonna scream.
What brings you
What's
so far?
Fargo? This is right.
Much trouble, Clutch Cargo. Our old friend Captain Lowtide, who once saved my life in big bad danger. His plans for giant igloo housing project with TV in every igloo have gone poof. His big ships are frozen solid in ice. Big mysterious bird giant after him.
Sounds like the same bird giant I wrote about in my Arctic adventure book.
Oh.
This doesn't
Okay.
sound good.
This is very painful to watch.
But this
Well-
was also
Fargo was the name of the
influential.
show.
Now, hold on. I really need to put him on the hot seat right now and ask, what the hell were you thinking when you sent this to me, Marty?
This is not, I told you this is one of the hate ones, right?
Yeah, you did. I
Right.
thought we weren't going to use that word. I thought we
Well,
weren't
no,
going to use that word.
In this case, I have to say hate. Out of anything else, I didn't feel that about Colonel Bleep. Didn't feel that quite that about Felix. This was, and I honestly, I would watch it every now and again because that the mouth, the lips moving was sort of a freaky thing for me that I would every once in a while want to watch. but it was also like racist. I mean, when they used the term, they bandy that term around a lot these days, and I think it's sometimes a little overkill. But this was, in that time period, this was ooga ooga.
Right.
It was like, and somehow this guy, and by the way, Clutch with that part in his hair was a little problematic for me. I didn't like the part. It was always very neat. He was muscular. He had a tight shirt on. It was like he was showing off his lats and shit like that. Ooh,
that's okay.
I did it.
You finally got it out.
I got it out.
Okay, so this was actually somewhat influential. This show, okay, in when you go watch The Incredibles. On the DVD and the Blu-ray, there is an animated short with Mr. Incredible and Frozone where they do this type of animation.
That's disturbing.
It is. It's very disturbing.
It's like nightmare fuel, okay?
Yeah. But just so you're aware, obviously people remembered it because they used it at Pixar.
Well, I was trying to forget it, but Marty brought it back up again, for God's sake.
Every now and then it shows up on this show.
Yeah, but all the people that are in the chat room right now, they hate you, Marty. Look what you did to them.
The fact that I brought it in at all, you mean?
Yeah. Well, I didn't want to show it, but I remember it, not seeing it personally.
Well, this is his hate list, so it's fair. It's fair to be on the hate list.
Man. Show whatever you want to show.
Well, okay. One thing I did not put on the hate list, and that's my bad. Oh my God! Let me see if I can find it because I didn't put it in this file. Marty, talk a little bit more about this hate list, because there's one on here which I don't want you to talk about yet because I got to find the clip. Oh, that is the last one left. You had mentioned, mainly because Felix the cat was on your list, you had mentioned something about Fritz the cat. What is it that you know about Fritz the cat, Marty?
Well, Fritz the cat was there was a movie by Ralph Bakshi, right, that was based on the R. Crumb comic strip, which was, of course, the Mr. Natural, all of those underground comics that he wrote with that really were very politically incorrect and dealt with a whole lot of marijuana infused visuals. I actually fell in love with that stuff when I was more of a early teenager, not with marijuana. It took me a while to actually get to that. I got to it soon enough, but not that anybody needs to know too much about that. But the point is that it was more about just that I loved the very crazy, insane, fearless visuals and comedic references, dark sensibilities, all in great fun. So Fritz the cat had a lot of that stuff going on.
Yeah. All right.
Ralph Bakshi, I think, toned it down a little bit for a larger audience, which
Sure.
he needed to do, really.
Yeah. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to go to the last on his list, list of whatever I called it before. I don't understand why he chose this, but he's going to have to answer for it after I show you the clip.
I know.
This is something that irritates Marty, but the rest of us love and endear it. And Marty, you're going to have to answer for this, buddy, because I don't get it. Shame, shame, shame. Shame. How dare you? Shame. Okay. What's your problem with Astro Boy, Marty?
All right. Listen.
Here we go.
Okay. I just want you to know there's something about human beings. I'm going to explain why, but I just want to say from watching that clip, is it, I think I must bow to the spirit that Mark is sending to me. Well, I won't say this is a good thing to do. To kind of,
they were all threats. They were all threats.
No, I don't know, and it's something I'm still alive. I'm here in my basement, but I do feel somehow that I spoke too harshly. It was a really cool cartoon. I'm remembering this now, but I'm remembering why I didn't like it. It wasn't that it wasn't a really good cartoon. It wasn't that he wasn't a really appealing character who stood up to some really nasty monsters and very cool monsters, by the way, and very active, energetic stuff going on. So it was great stuff. But here's my problem. It was such a ridiculous thing. It was the dubbing. It was the voices of the characters themselves that I had a problem with, not with the cartoon.
I could see the dubbing problem. Yeah, I could agree with that. It
made me crazy. And I would also and it was one of those things where I don't know if I'm imagining it, but I would hear, did I hear Japanese actors speaking in English? Did I hear that?
I don't remember.
Because it sounded like, okay, Astro Boy. There was that kind of a lot. I know Astro Boy, Dr. Elephant, and blah 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 blah. Astro Boy. I would hear that, so it sounded like slightly broken English, which made me a little crazy. Not only that, but the actual dubbing itself wasn't always great.
How, as such a young boy that you were, could you criticize? I wasn't even paying attention to those kind of cartoons.
You said to me,
"Oh my God,
psychotic." Perhaps this was in the morning stages of the psychotic sensibility.
Okay, I get your point. I mean, this is why the brilliant vocalist you have become was based on you studying the voices of things, as you saw them when you were growing up.
Thank you for giving me that credit.
I'll give you that one. Yes,
not necessarily the case.
God
bless you. Yes, that's exactly what Mark said is exactly true. It's exactly correct. I studied these voices to become a brilliant vocalist I am today.
Yes.
God bless you.
Oh my God.
Marty, the check will be sent to you shortly,
Yes, we'll send you money.
Very, very, very strange. Yeah, so that was irritating to me. So that was what it was. So for those of you Astro Boy fans, I'm going to do something now.
Uh-oh.
Not now the second, but I will watch some old Astro Boy cartoons to kind of reacquaint myself with and try to overlook the dubbing issue.
Hey, I'm going to tell you, the old cartoons, yes, but as an achievement to, what Astro Boy brought to the Saturday morning cartoons audience, they did a film. I think it was Disney or Pixar or somebody, but they did an Astro Boy film, which I thought was brilliant. It was really cool.
I thought, yeah.
So still today, the sub and dub debate rolls on with current cartoons or anime.
Absolutely, it's absolutely.
I agree. Good point there, Dr. Who. Good point. You're right. Wow. Okay, ladies and gentlemen,
new line. It was new line, Mark.
It was a new line film. Okay, cool. They did a great job. I really enjoyed it. So ladies and gentlemen, we're not done yet. In fact, this is what you should have stayed on for. You better call your friends and neighbors and anybody that you know. They really need to watch what we're about to present to you now. Marty and I'll give you a little history on this. When Gary Palmacher, the head of HWWS, introduced me to Mr. Grabstein here, Marty. The purpose was because Warner Brothers Studios, who I'm sure is watching this program as we speak, dropped something that I personally thought was a little premature. Marty and I had thought that it would have been nice if it would have been announced on this show at the time. Waters Under the Bridge was done and done. I'm not upset. But in total allegiance with Warner Brothers and Marty, we wanted to continue the marketing process of what it is we're about to show and tell you, only because I personally think it's too far out for people to actually remember what was dropped last month. Okay, I'm talking about the end of the month of June. And I think it just made our jobs a lot harder to try to keep it in the minds of those who are fans of both of these characters. My God, months away from when the actual public sees it. I just think it was a bad move on their part to drop it now, middle of summer. People are at camp, swimming, vacation, the whole 9 yards. And then when September 14th rolls around, people are going to go, oh, yeah, I forgot all about that. But thanks to Mark Lee, Rosemary Rose, and Jerome Connor, who kept it in our minds fresh and fresher. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to bring Marty Grabstein up to the main screen and introduce something that's going to be happening. It's going to be fabulous. We are definite fans. We've done multiple shows just on this character alone. And then for something Warner Brothers decided to do and present to us September 14th, Marty is the man we mainly wanted to bring on today to tell the folks what is going on. Marty, I'm handing this off to you. Thank you so much for joining us for this show. Please tell us what the fans, the audiences have to look for September 14th of this year.
Okay, so in case you haven't seen it all over the place, that as I said, it's been gently released, and I'm very happy about this. It's actually a movie called Straight Outta Nowhere, Scooby-Doo Meets Courage the Cowardly Dog. There you go! It's there! It's there! Scooby and Courage together! It's unbelievable! Oh, man, very excited about this. Look at it. It really is an idea whose time has come, and it's going to be released on September 14th in both DVD and in digital form as well. You'll be able to purchase it at all your various digital and I imagine rent it as well. However that whole thing works, and not always for the streaming and downloading, so you can do either one of those things at any of your retailers. So September 14th, it's being released. So very exciting that the folks at Warner's have provided us with a trailer to give us a look at how it goes, and very, very cool stuff. I'm very, very excited about this. First of all, the opportunity to bring back Courage, and also the opportunity to team up with one of the kings of popular culture, which would be Scooby-Doo, certainly. I mean, this is a king, 1969, beginning with that, right? So pretty amazing. So I'm very, very excited about this.
Well, let me ask you a few questions here, Marty. Number one, how did this come about? Who put on their thinking cap and said, hey, I know what we should do. We should combine these two dogs together and do a movie. How did this come about?
Well, honestly, I mean, I don't want to make it up. I don't know how it actually came about. I can only tell you how it came about, how I was approached.
Sure.
This is an idea that's been going around for quite some time. And by the way, let me also go on record as saying that I've been quiet about this thing for, up until the thing was actually released. The agreement was to not talk about it, so that when Warner is ready to release it and announce it, it'll come across real nice in that respect. So, but I've been hearing about this for the longest time, and it was all stuff made up on the internet. I've been hearing about Scooby and Courage reuniting for years. They've been talking about it. And so it's a wild thing. It's like clearly an idea whose time had come. Clearly the people wanted this to happen. The people wanted this to happen. And so I don't know how it happened or what went on and, behind the scenes or any of that stuff. But I just know that I was approached by casting at Warner and, said we're putting together a meeting of the two universes, Scourge. I know how to say those words.
Take 21.
Courage and Scooby-Doo, and would I be interested in doing it? Well, let me think about it. Yeah, of course. And though, and just in case you were going to ask me a question, it wasn't like a done deal. It had been over 20 years, right? So they did need me. They said it's not an audition. It's not an audition, but you need to, we need to kind of hear a little bit of you doing the voice to make sure that you still have it. So I actually did have to do that, and I immediately got a response back. Great. Yes, of course you still have it. So yeah, you're in. And then there it is. And then went on from there. Very excited about this.
We are too, as well. Crew, anybody got any questions you want to ask about this DVD, this release, this movie that's coming out September 14th, guys? Now remember, where are we? We're in July, August, September. So we got about 2 months, a little over 2 months before this actually debuts. So we're going to try and keep this rolling in the minds of a lot of people on social media. I would ask that all our viewers, if you would spread this around. We're going to show you the clip shortly. But we want you to spread this around and let people know that, hey, Scooby's teaming up with Courage. See, you got me saying it. Courage. And you need to go out and purchase this DVD because I'm sure it's going to be absolutely hilarious with this group of characters that we all love. We've done shows on Scooby-Doo, a number of shows. Jerome, you know how many shows we've done on Scooby-Doo?
Last I counted, we have done 4 shows on Scooby and 1 show on the Scooby knockoffs.
Right. Yes, the Scooby knockoffs and so on. And
Scooby's an empire, man.
It is.
Oh yeah.
It's an empire. It's like, in my personal opinion, the #1 cartoon people go to almost immediately when you say Saturday morning cartoons. Scooby-Doo. And it's like
part of people's lives.
Yeah, and it's around, and the fact that you've teamed up with Courage, and of course, we know you're contracted to say only as much as they will allow you to say. So I'm going to ask: is there any tiny bit of the premise that you can tell us?
Sure. Yeah.
Okay.
It's basically this. I mean, the basic aspect of it is that somewhere along the line, Scooby makes his way past the town line or the demarcation of nowhere, which is Courage's universe, so to speak, which would made me feel really good when I found that out, that Courage was really being featured because essentially Scooby the Empire was embracing a new icon. Comparably speaking. So basically they enter into the town line and somehow Courage and Scooby hook up and they start to sniff out this strange little object, which ultimately leads to a giant cicada and his group of warrior cicadas.
Oh, come on.
It's really cool stuff because cicada, it's kind of like saying, it was the beginning of the end. With the beginning of the end, the giant grasshoppers. A grasshopper is like a harmless little creature, but make them giant and they're frightening as hell. So also the leopard, the Night of the Lepus with the giant rabbit.
Yes.
I digress.
That's okay.
So basically, the idea is the two dogs combine their sensibilities along with this wonderful crew of expert detectives to solve the problem of the cicadas and save the world from cicada domination. Something like that.
That is amazing. I'm looking forward to it. We're all looking forward to it. Rose and Jerome, any of you guys got any questions you want to ask?
So basically, we scare away the cicadas, which only last for what, 2 or 3 weeks, and then they disappear for another 17 years, and then Scooby's got to come back in 17 years.
I hadn't thought of that. That maybe we'll speed up the timeline.
Yeah,
that's
like
just going to be plans for a sequel, but I ain't waiting 17 years
from now.
No.
I love the fact that I'm going to get to act. I mean, I've already have, but the idea that I'm appearing essentially in this film. My voice along with the great Frank Welker, just a brilliant guy who, the Scooby and Fred, right?
And Fred, yeah.
Matthew Lillard, my Scream buddy. And,
he's pretty much, since the movie, he's pretty much become Shaggy in all the movies, with the exception of some of the recent ones.
He is wonderful. It's Velma and Greg Griffin. And, of course, on my end of things, the great, wondrous, delightful, my good friend Thea White, back as Muriel. Sadly, Eustace died. Actually, both Eustaces died. Actually, Arthur Anderson and Lionel Wilson being the first one, the main guy. But the fact that Jeff Bergman is going to be playing him, voice of Bugs Bunny, and more recent Bugs Bunny, giant, my boy, Bugs Bunny, right?
So Marty. Yeah, when you do these, do you have the entire cast with you, or do you do it by yourself in the studio?
By myself in the studio.
Oh,
really? Yeah.
But I did have a question. I had a question. How long did you have to keep this under wraps? From production to now?
Almost a year and a half.
That's incredible.
Wow.
That's incredible.
Wow.
That's hard. That must be hard.
Man, but
I'm telling you.
Yeah, and that says a lot about you, because only in the last few weeks did we even know about this.
Right.
And we knew about this. You've introduced us to this prior to the dropping of the trailer. And we're like, what? Courage is with Scooby-Doo? What? Tell me more. We got to get this guy on. And obviously we got him on. Let me do this real quick. Let me go ahead and show the trailer, and we can talk a little bit more before we end the show about this. But guys, this is the second debut, shall I say, the second dropping of the Warner Brothers cartoon straight to DVD, the movie, shall I say. I don't remember.
Hey, we've been hit. We've been tagged. Cheryl's contacting us right now about it.
I haven't.
Cheryl just messaged Cartoon Crew, said the show ended abruptly. But we're still on.
Yeah.
Okay, on what platform? I'm wondering. Where was she watching? Because we're on multiple platforms.
I think she was on Facebook. Pretty sure.
Okay.
Hang on a second. I'm checking on Facebook right now.
Hold on, Jerome. If it's on Facebook, I don't care. That's fine. We're still running on YouTube, so people can still watch it on YouTube. And I guess Facebook probably tagged us for probably the last thing we showed. And I've gotten no notice as of yet. So I think we're fine for now.
We're still running live on Facebook.
Yes, I'm reading the comment as well.
Okay.
But
I'm watching us on Facebook.
I got it, but I got it right here. So anyway, if it was YouTube, no big deal. It is still being broadcast out there. We're still on. There's probably one service that said, well, you can't do this. Well, guess what? Yes, we can. So guys, let's go ahead and watch the trailer. Enjoy, and we'll talk a little bit about it on the back end. Everybody's saying we're running live, so I'm good. Oh.
Come on, let's go! We gotta catch up with Scooby-Doo!
In the middle of nowhere, Scooby-Doo found a little courage.
That's me!
It's my friends.
Oh!
And a lot of adventure.
Like, man, this place is totally freaky. Why is the water dripping upward?
Now,
if you're in a situation, I've never seen security
big before. More weird and creepy, mysterious stuff happens in nowhere than anywhere else in the world.
It's on our flag.
Getting scared, then welcome to the town that isn't there.
Enjoy.
There's nowhere to run.
The insects grow to crazy sizes here.
Where creepy is a compliment, bananas is a verb. Bravery, I'm confident, is still a dirty word.
And nowhere to hide.
Gesundheit.
Oh, thank you.
If you're falling down a rabbit hole, the so laugh until you cry a bit, and then you get unstuck. Are you nutty as a bouquet? Are you loony as a tune? And quit your scowl and do some howling at the moon, like me. Woohoo!
We got a safe scoop!
Straight out of nowhere, Scooby-Doo meets Courage the Cowardly Dog.
Woohoo! Jackpot! Watch the masters at work!
Needs more mustard. Excuse me, must have been something I ate.
Look for it on digital and DVD.
I am so gonna love this. Marty, I have to applaud you.
Thank you, man.
So
Listen,
much.
let me just make just a quick clarifying.
No, talk as much as you want.
Yes, just as regarding your concerns about being taken. I just want to make that clear that when you said to me just before that I told you about something a couple of weeks before, well, you need to make it very clear that what I told you was not actually the specifics of what's happening, but that there's going to be very soon an announcement of something really cool happening Courage related, but
And
not
that is-
actually.
And that is correct. And I
That
stand
is, so just to make
corrected.
that clear, that is what we said
You
together.
did not violate any contractual obligations in Warner Brothers by revealing to anyone of what was coming.
Thank you, sir.
Yes.
So
And I'm wondering if perhaps that is what actually happened just now.
No. It wasn't. But we're good. Everybody's saying we're still live. Everybody's watching. Everybody's got it. James is asking about MegaCon, which is our local convention.
Yeah,
here
you
in
know what,
Orlando.
James? Yeah, can you talk to MegaCon, please? And
Yeah.
let you know that I should be in it.
And I think as much promotion as Marty can get out there on this would be absolutely fantabulous, because this is something that I'm hoping would get into the hearts and minds of everybody of quote unquote what's coming, what has already been announced by Warner Brothers. And I just think it's a fabulous piece of work so far, just from looking at the trailer. So I'm really looking
You know what? This is going to bring Courage to a whole new generation.
Oh yeah.
Agreed.
Right?
And
Right, Rose?
Yeah.
You know,
Absolutely.
I have to say, you know, I'm re-looking at the names of the people that you worked with on this, Marty, and I have to say I'm a fan of Kate's. Kate, I can't even pronounce her last name. Who played Velma?
Oh, who played Velma?
Yeah.
I can't pronounce her name either.
But you know what? You know what? This could be the doorway to possibly Courage coming back to television somehow.
Oh yeah.
Well, that would be really cool.
There was a pilot for that to bring Courage back. I have a note about that.
Yeah, well,
they did a computer animation version of Courage as a pilot. I did the research for you, Marty. You told me to do research.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, that was
2014.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure what, I want to be kind about this. The point is, it was very exciting, the thought of it coming back. I don't know that the style of it with all the, the 3D elements to it were quite correct for what Courage's magical anything is possible sensibility. I find myself thinking of those, the simple thing of the, what do you call that? The stretch and squash sensibility of the animation. Yeah. Roadrunner is running, runs over a cliff and somehow makes it to the other side. Wile E. Coyote is running and suddenly realizes, whoops, boing,
Yes.
he disappears out, and he's coming down. You see him flying down, and he's like all extended and stretched out, and then he smashes on the ground and he's a pancake that's all stretched out. So
Yes.
all of that is beautiful in 2D. And as a result of that, if you make that 3D, then you basically have to explain, the crushing of organs, blood, all of that other lovely, gory stuff would come into place. Whereas anything can happen in a 2D situation, right?
Yep.
Correct.
Yep, I totally get that.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, this is the reason why Marty would make a great panelist at any convention, and people are already popping up saying, "Hey, ask for Marty, ask for Marty, ask for Marty," and that's very, very true. People around the world, wherever your local conventions are, big or small, size doesn't matter. I think you really need to go ahead and put in a request for Marty's appearance at those conventions, because the convention organizers just got wind, maybe, of this movie coming out and the possibility of Courage being resurrected. And I think this is perfect timing for him to have yet another cartoon series, whether it's a Netflix cartoon series, whether it's a Cartoon Network cartoon series.
HBO Max. I think they have the Warner Brothers. Don't they have the Warner Brothers?
Yes, they do. They own all the
right.
Warner Brothers. Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. And I honestly think that this is the time for you guys. It's perfect. It's a perfect storm right now for you guys to go ahead and rally for Marty. We're getting nothing out of this. We just happen to like the guy, and we take care of our friends on this show and off this show. So
and we love Courage.
Yeah. Yeah.
Contrary to that, I will be getting something out of this.
And our 20%. Yes, I get it.
I
Anyway,
believe that's called a mortgage payment.
Let me also say something about this. Just
please.
The idea of Courage coming back, there were concerns about perhaps we're living in a very sensitive climate right now, and Courage kind of was a little fearless. Hold on. What is this? And be sure to. Oh, got it. Anyway, I'm reading your comments as well.
Yeah, I know you are. I know what you're doing. Yeah.
Anyway, the idea of it, what we might be considered to be politically incorrect, some of the elements of Courage's characters, I think if done a little gently, but not pandering kind of thing to that you're worrying, so much. I think Courage would work well now anyway, because the spirit of it and the essence of it, the idea of that this dog somehow faces his fear, is basically terrified of everything, and then at the 11th hour chooses to face the fear and fight through it and save the world, or his world as you know it. I think it's a wonderful thing, and that still holds true today, and people love the freaky, scary stuff even today. So
I think it holds more truth now, because when Courage debuted back in '99, up until where we are 2021, leaps and bounds have occurred in terms of the psyche of not just young people, but everybody in general. This fits very appropriately in today's society. So I'm pretty sure that you're going to, it's almost as if you never left if they brought your show back on and new storylines. There's so much story out there that can possibly into your show. I mean, can you imagine, since you're a horror-based, sci-fi-based kind of show, that you're out in the middle of nowhere and there goes Elon Musk's rocket in the distance, or we got Bezos's rocket going up in the distance. There's so much story that I think people can come up with for a new Courage series. So,
and I also always felt that they never explored deeply enough into the microscopic world, and that somehow they get miraculously become like microscopic and having to face all the
it's an
viruses and stuff. That would be interesting.
Fantastic Voyage time.
Yeah, it's an inner space kind of thing.
But if we do Fantastic Voyage stuff, Marty's going to demand that he has to work with Raquel Welch. That's all there is to it.
No. That's my baby. Nobody goes there like that.
I imagined her in my mind as a cartoon character on this show already. I see it.
Just drawn badly.
Character gets rid of Jessica Rabbit in a hair's breadth.
Bravo. Speech. Bravo. Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, guess what? We did 90 minutes, a little more than 90 minutes. Well worth it. This guy could probably go on for another couple hours. But we won't let him because I have to see Black Widow today at noon, and you're kind of holding me up right now. This gentleman has been utterly incredible. The fact that we fit him in, and I want to preface this like we do each and every show. If you have a series of cartoons that you like, if you have one cartoon that you like, and you want to be a co-host, basically what Marty has been doing during this show, you want to be a co-host on your show and talk about your favorite cartoons, please hit us up. We'd be glad to have you. All we need is a list of cartoons, preferably a maximum of 10 cartoons that you're interested in showing, and we'll have you on the show. We'd love to have Marty back. With,
yes. Please come back.
A better negative list.
I have more questions. I have lots more questions.
Yeah. And if he had a better list of negatives, Astro Boy, how dare you?
Did I not come back right around September?
Yeah, but hold on for a second. But you dissed Astro Boy. That's like kicking a puppy. Okay, you don't do that.
So saying you're sorry isn't good enough?
No.
What do I have to do to right this wrong?
No, because this is Saturday morning cartoons. It's things we remember, Marty. It's things we remember.
You're choosing to remember that I didn't like it, not that on cartoon in front of all kinds of people.
It's too late. It's too late, Marty. I got your list in writing, dude. Okay, I'm just telling you. Rose, you had mentioned something real quick. What did you say?
I said it would be great to have him back in September when it hits the DVD and streaming.
Of course.
Hey, Marty.
I'd love to have you. That would be a great time to come back.
Hey, Marty, do me a favor. Yeah. If you can, and just put it in your head. Remember, if there's anyone from the cast of that movie that you can suggest that they make an appearance on this show in the morning. And I know LA would probably be kind of tough because that's 6, but we can always pre-tape a show.
Yeah, absolutely.
On any and then show it during our regular time. If there's anyone that that could help promote this closer to, now we can talk about closer to release time.
Yes, absolutely. Then.
Yeah.
So yes, I will. I'm happy to mention that, and I'll mention it to the team, to the PR team that's been graciously working with me. Alex and Inez. I think Alex is watching this. Inez might still be sleeping. It is early. I can't believe Alex woke up so early.
They can watch it. They can watch it again because this is all taped.
Did she even go to sleep? That's the question. Because of how early it is.
Well, what do I know what Alex said? Just business. Did she go to sleep? Did she have a cup of hot cocoa? Whatever it is.
But now that you and especially Alex has seen the style of our show, it's very loose. It's very, funny. I think it's funny. These guys are funny. And we put out information, and that's what people like to see in entertainment television. If you can convince anyone to come back, and if guys in the room here everybody wants to say thank you anyway to you. So that's yes. And yes, he doesn't just do voice work. He's most excellent on an episode of The Blacklist, which I missed, and I like The Blacklist. So I don't.
Well, just a little trivia note. Marty's been on 3 separate Law and Orders.
4.
4? I only saw 3. Okay.
Wait a minute. Not as a victim, though, right? Not as a victim, right?
Never as a victim, but I've been on regular Law and Order, Special Victims Unit, Criminal Intent, and also very briefly what was it called?
You were on the original. You were on Criminal Intent, Special Victims Unit. I didn't see another one on your IMDb list.
They might not have mentioned it, but there was a 1 season only where they did this thing where they were using young lawyers and stuff. And that was in that character. Oh, Conviction.
Okay.
Conviction.
I thought they were choosing you as one of the young lawyers.
They should have. Also, a third watch. I mean, a whole lot. I just let me do a personal. Can I do a personal plug? Hey, what are you doing now?
You can plug anything. You can plug anything.
Gotta wait for Black Widow. Wait 1 second. A big personal plug. All right. So just now, I produced a short film, which basically is a fictional, but kind of based on the essence of a day in the life of Hunter S. Thompson. The great 60s, 70s journalist, Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas, Hell's Angels, wrote a lot for Rolling Stone magazine, a very wild and crazy, indulgent gentleman who was absolutely nuts. And so I played Hunter S. Thompson, albeit a much larger version of Hunter S. Thompson. But I actually had to do something in order to play the role properly. Just so you understand the commitment. I had to do that.
Wait a minute. Hold on. Keep that hat off for a minute, real quick. Keep the hat off. Hold on. Stay there. Where is it? Oh, for crap. There we go.
That hair? Thank you. That's right. That's how usually my hair is.
Wow.
Give or take a few follicles, but generally speaking. So I had to do this, and actually I shaved it all the way back. It was completely bald, and it was longer on the sides and in the back, but just recently I had this so it would catch up to the rest of it coming back. It's coming back, right? Slowly but sure. It's just a couple of weeks.
So when and where are we going to see this?
I'll be announcing it on my page once we have something, fully edited and put together. Sure. But the goal is to do the festival circuit and try to make some noise that way. And I believe there's something on a way that it would be online as well. I'm not quite sure how that all works.
So we'll see you at Sundance.
Yeah,
please.
But Marty, with our luck, okay, they'll announce it before they tell you. Okay.
What am I going to do with you, mister? What am I going to do with you? Anyway.
Man, we love you so much, and we can't wait if we can kind of prematurely have a commitment from you for September, close to release time. Depending on what your management tells you.
Yes, I'm going to have to defer to whatever they agreeing with and what
exactly.
their view.
But if a list,
I love being here, so I can't imagine why there'd be any trouble with it. But again, I have to defer at that point.
Gotcha. But if there's a list that comes out that about on your junket, your marketing junket, make sure our cartoon Saturday morning cartoons is in that, on that list. So
and they've seen it in operation as well. So that's nice.
Yeah. I mean, we're cool. We love Warner Brothers. My God, I'm a big fan of Warner Brothers animation. Period. Yeah. They just knock it out of the park anytime they do anything animated, especially the superhero genres that we see through Warner Brothers.
Yeah, we discuss Warner Brothers shows all the time. So thanks Warner Brothers for letting you come on. I believe.
Yeah, and anything that we show Warner Brothers related in terms of classic Saturday morning cartoons, my God, that's a testament to Warner Brothers in general, how fantastic they are and how we still love what they've done for us. Hey guys, you can go ahead and follow Marty. On his Facebook page. Marty Grabstein has a fan page. I think that's your fan page.
It's a fan page, so it's not Facebook proper, but it's Marty Grabstein Courage.
Right, Marty Grabstein
Courage. And
okay, and we would love to debut it on what?
I think they're talking about his short film.
Yes, that's right. That's a thought. You can get up with Garrett and Sage and those guys, and that would be something very, very interesting for you to talk to them about. We can promote the world for you. This is social media. It's a wide format, and it's
a whole new world for me, man.
And we can bring it back up.
All the cool kids are doing it now.
Yeah.
All the cool kids.
Hey guys, this is Saturday morning. Marty, hang around. Don't go offline yet, but we're going to go ahead and close the show out. I want to thank everybody for joining us for this morning. We really appreciate having Marty as one of our. He's probably our top guest we've had so far on this show. Very entertaining, very knowledgeable, and he had, stuff to show. So I love that. Saturday morning cartoons every Saturday morning, 9 a.m. Guys, bring your cereal, stay in your pajamas, wake up, come see us, Daffy, Daffy Duck, Herculoids, Space Ghost, Johnny Quest. We're into all kind of that stuff. So check us out. Whoa, actually, we're off next week. So see us in 2 weeks. That same week, we'll have Classic Television Smackdown on Friday nights and then Saturday morning cartoons the next day. But next week, we are off, and we're going to see you guys. So thank you for everything. Hang in there, and we will talk to you guys soon, where we will. Great show, Mark. Thanks again, Marty. All right. Love it that weekend, quote unquote, draw a crowd. So this is cool. So stand by.